Hi, I'm Ethan Green from NoSleeplessNights.com, and in this video I'm going to be doing an unboxing and review of the Lavince Bluetooth fabric headphones. These are relatively inexpensive. I paid $20 for them, so even though I'm not expecting them to have the most incredible speaker quality, I am hoping that they're going to be comfortable to wear in bed, especially when you're sleeping on your side. So in this review I'm going to test them compared to over-ear headphones and normal earbuds as well. They've also been designed with sport in mind, but if I'm honest, I'm not the kind of person that would wear fabric headphones with buttons on my forehead in the gym, because I just don't want to look like the only Android in my gym basically. So I'm going to really focus on the sleep aspect. So without further ado, let's go over to the table, unbox them, charge them up, and then I'm going to test them over a few days so I can give you a really thorough opinion of how well they work or not. Okay, so let's unbox the headphones. I'm not expecting to find too much in here unless they've managed to hide an entire Android outfit inside this tiny box, but I somehow doubt that. So let's have a look. I have to turn it around and open the top here. Oop. Always manage to break boxes when I undo them. Okay, there we have a charging cable, headphones, some instructions, I guess, and there's the hello bit. Okay, so let's have a look at this first. Here we've got a little welcome message, some tips, connecting, how to connect with the Bluetooth, use iPhone for example. If that's an example, I'm assuming you can use it with Android, otherwise I'm going to struggle to do this review. And then the basic operations. Okay, I'll have a look at those a little bit later. So the charging cable, looks like we've got a micro USB to USB. So here we have the buttons on the front that I was talking about earlier. This is the reason that I won't be wearing them in the gym. I'm sure not everybody would either. So what have we got on the buttons here? We've got what looks like a play and a pause, and a plus and a minus, which I'm assuming is going to be for volume and potentially for changing track as well. Quite thin, but I'm noticing immediately on the other side that there's not much padding, and inside looks like there's a plastic component. So I'm wondering automatically if I sleep with this all night, whether it's going to leave a rectangular print on my forehead. So I'll definitely be testing that over a couple of nights. And then looking around the actual mesh, what else have we got? Okay, so here is the outlet to charge it, which I'm going to have to do in a minute, otherwise I'm not going to be able to demonstrate them at all. And just looking at it, that's another plastic component then that's going to be inside there and without a lot of padding either. So that's going to be on the back of your head, which if it does leave some imprint on the back of your head or next to your hair, at least isn't going to be as visible as on your forehead, but it's definitely something I'm going to look out for. Now the fabric itself, it feels very soft, it's quite nice and smooth. I can't see any tag which tells you what the actual material is, but this looks like a lightweight mesh, and I know from looking on their website that that's what they say it is, presumably to help with breathability, especially if you're doing sports or even if you're sleeping in a relatively hot country. Let's just have a look through the instructions then and see if it says anything about what the fabric is made from. Welcome, distance, tips, connecting, some Bluetooth advice, basic operations, power on, connecting, releasing a call. It has incoming calls, which is going to be interesting. So you can release or reject a call and talk to people while you're lying in bed with your eyes closed, which might be nice. Volume up and down, previous song, next song, music on and pause, nothing about fabric. Charger and battery. I do believe that you need to charge this for 2 hours. There we go, it takes 2 hours to fully charge the headband. So I'm going to have to do that now before I even try it and test it out. Oh, that's interesting. Provide about 8 to 10 hours of talk or music time or 100 hours of standby time. That's definitely going to be enough for using it when you sleep. Troubleshooting. Note. Nothing in the notes about fabric. Note how to clean. That's good. Launder. That's good. You can put it in the washing machine. Hang it up to drain. No bleach. After sale service. Okay, so nothing about the material. So I'm going to guess that it's a relatively cheap polyester kind of fabric, maybe with some elastine or viscose in there, I'm not quite sure. But anyway, let's charge it up and then give it a go. And I've now got them fully charged, so let's try and connect them to my phone with Bluetooth. I believe the way to do that is to hold that button down for 3 seconds. And the flashing lights tell me that it's ready for pairing. And then let's go into my phone, turn the Bluetooth on, and see if I can find it. None of those. There's the one, BTFAAH. Pairing. I don't know if you could hear that, but I just heard a little voice coming out of the headphones saying connected. So that's that. And before I actually put them on, I'm going to just turn some music on and see if you can hear it through my microphone, which is always an interesting test. Oh, I can hear them from here. Let me turn the volume up. Ooh, okay, so it's pretty quiet. I've got my phone on maximum volume. So let me bring them a little bit closer. Incidentally, I didn't really look at the speakers earlier. I'd like to say it's because I was waiting for this bit to turn them on and show you them, but actually I just forgot, which is kind of incredible when I play back through the video. So anyway, here's the speaker closer up. And I would really need to bring that off the camera closer to my microphone so that you can hear it. So I'm just going to do that for a second. So to be honest, you probably can't really tell very clearly, and you're going to have to rely a little bit on me wearing them and then telling you about them. But in terms of the actual speakers, you've got one on each side. You're going to put them over your ears, roughly. It seems like there's a couple of little bags here that they've been sewn into. I played around with them earlier, so you can kind of slide them up and down, which means that potentially they'll slide out of place in the night, but it means that you can put them right over your ear. And similarly to the box on the front and the charging clip on the back, it means that there's a little plastic thing with not much protection that's going to be on the side of your head. So now I'm going to have to wear them for a couple of nights and see what happens when you wear them. Do you get dents on the side of your head and on your forehead or not? So okay, let's put them on then and see what they feel like to wear and listen to them. I thought I'd give them a good test before I continue the video. So I've actually been lying here for half an hour now listening to different kinds of music and radio and changing positions. So far I found that they're really comfortable, both on my back and on my side and even on my front, which isn't my natural position, but you can wear them comfortably in any position, I found, and particularly on your side, which is what I was most interested in. I mean, to be honest, you can feel the speaker underneath your ear. It is a plastic casing after all, and the mesh isn't too padded, but you can lie on them quite comfortably on your side, which is obviously great compared to normal speakers, which I'll show you in a minute. Now, where the music quality is concerned, I've actually been really quite impressed. I wasn't expecting them to be very good for $20. Many speakers of that price that I've tried, whether it's a pillow speaker or headphones or normal speakers, really distort when you turn them up or when you've got bass music playing, but these have been really quite clear. And I think if you're listening to soft, relaxing music or radio or podcast in bed at night, they're going to be absolutely fine. Perhaps if you like listening to rock or techno or heavy metal in bed, then you might be a bit disappointed, but for soft, gentle music, they're just great, I found. Now, compared to normal headphones, let me show you the difference. If you've got normal in-ear headphones like these AKGs, I won't plug them in, save some time, then you can feel them in your ear, perhaps more than the headband, but not that much different. It's just kind of a different sensation, really. Problem with these, though, is if you change position in the night, they tend to fall out. I know some people don't like having earbuds in their ears all night long anyway, so I guess that's a personal choice. But where comfort's concerned, I think the headband are slightly more comfortable. Now, when it comes to over-ear headphones, it's a completely different story. If I put my giant Lavintries on, one thing is if you're on your back, you can't move your head much anyway because they're so big they kind of keep it in one position. But if you try and sleep on your side or even just lie in bed listening to music, it's just about impossible. You would need to cut a hole in your pillow or get a donut shaped pillow, I think, to have any chance of lying on your side with these things. So the Lavince headband is definitely going to be preferable to even the most expensive over-ear headphones. So I guess now I need to test them out for a few nights and then I can get a full impression of how they are and complete this video with my final verdict. So I've now tested the Lavince headbands for a few nights and I'm happy to say that my first impressions are pretty much spot on. I do think that they're really comfy and the sound quality is really excellent for such a low price. I'm really quite impressed by them. I didn't go to the gym wearing them, but I did take them for a run. And what was interesting was that they do stay in place and they're really breathable, which is a good thing. However, I also don't want to run around looking like an android. And I also don't quite understand why they've decided to sew the word enjoying into the front, just above the buttons. I find that really unusual. Now, in terms of pros and cons, just to give you a really quick overview, for me, the pros are the fact that it's comfortable to wear when you're lying in bed, especially on your side. It's breathable. You can use it with Bluetooth, which means that you don't have a cable in bed. They can be washed. I tested that and checked. It took me just over a minute to remove the components and just under 4 minutes to put them back. It is a little bit fiddly, but it can be done, and it's nice that you can clean them safely without damaging any of the internal components, obviously. Then the fact that they're really cheap, just $20 I think is really good, especially considering the music quality. In terms of the cons, as I've already mentioned, the fact that they've got the word enjoying and buttons on your forehead makes it for me. Perhaps I'm too image conscious even at my ripe old age. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure the 20-year-old me wouldn't have wanted to wear these down the gym either. So I still stand by that one. And then there's the fact that they do this strange thing when you reach the maximum or the minimum volume where they emit a beeping noise, which when you're lying in bed is kind of unnecessary, I think. Almost as unnecessary as the word enjoying. And then my final criticism is actually about the controls. I personally don't like it when any device has the same buttons for the track changing and also the volume. Despite my criticisms, I still think that the Lavince headphones are actually really worth it if you're going to be listening to music or radio or podcast in bed. I think that they do that job really well. And for such a low price, I think that they are much better than I would have expected. When it comes to sports, as I've said many times, I wouldn't recommend them, but perhaps you're not as self-conscious as me and that you think that they're actually going to be really useful, especially if you run in the dark. But yeah, overall, I think that these are definitely worth trying in the house. So thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you're interested in buying them, you can find a link in the description below. Please also subscribe to my YouTube channel to keep in touch with me and see future reviews of more sleep products.